Hi, it's Dorothy Guiney with Scrapbooking Quebec. Today I'm here for Mercy Tiara Kits, and I'm going to be creating a double page layout featuring the April 2024 release called Adventure Awaits. This kit combines products from Pink Paisley, Echo Park Paper, Simple Stories, American Crafts, and more. I'm going to be using material from Echo Park Paper, the Telling Our Story collection, and a bit of Coast to Coast from American Crafts. Most of what I end up using comes from the main kit and the embellishment add-on. You can find information and inspiration for the Mercy Tiara Kits on their website, Instagram, and on Facebook, and I will put a bunch of links below. So let's jump right in. You're going to see on my desk in advance, I prepared a frame style foundation with 6 sheets of paper. I got 4 of them, and there is a tutorial on my channel where I explain how to do that. So that will be listed and linked below. I'm showing you that yellow washi tape there. That was because I accidentally ripped the paper from behind, so I just reinforced it with a bit of washi tape. Also, I'm showing you the other stuff I have. So I have 5 photos. That is me at Lake Louise last autumn, and they are all matted in white cardstock. So again, the 3 different pattern papers I'm using are all from Echo Park Papers Telling Our Story collection. Here are the cardstock pieces that I gutted from behind the foundation page. In the cardstock add-on, there was that patina, which is that aqua color along with white, and that dark teal cardstock was from my stash. All of that is from Basil. So I'm showing you the embellishments. I have a 12 by 12 sticker sheet from Simple Stories. I don't end up using that. In this tray, I have all of my embellishing from the main kit, the embellishment add-on, and the travel add-on. But like I mentioned in the intro, in the end, I just use the embellishments from the main kit and the embellishment add-on. I'm going to talk more about all of these embellishings later on in the process when I actually embellish my page. I do have a few tools that I'll be using as well, so I end up using 2 different stamp sets and 2 different die sets. So the dies are tags from Tim Holtz, as are those trees there. And the stamp sets, one of them is from Close to My Heart, the other from Elizabeth Craft Designs. And again, I'll mention those later in the process. The first thing I want to do is create my foundation page, or continue creating my foundation page. So what you see me doing is cutting up a bunch of 4-inch strips of paper. Now I'm trimming them down. I will put measurements on the screen a little bit later on so you can follow along if you want to do what I'm doing. And what I will do is ink up all of these blocks of paper as well before adhering. The ink I'm going to be using is called Morning Mist by VersaFine Claire. And so I don't make you watch all of it, but I do ink up all of the blocks. And in the next short segment, what I'm going to do is talk in real time. I'm going to attempt to do this next short segment in real time. That's because I want to explain my approach to creating double page spreads. When I create a classic double page spread, what I do is I create the canvas as one giant canvas, so 24 by 12, and I create a layered mat or a mat that goes across the 2 pages. Now this mat looks different all the time. There is an entire playlist on my channel of double page spreads, and you will notice they often are different, the mats. In this case, I have 4-inch strips of paper that go straight across the page, and they kind of overlap. It can be different. This could be simply a shelf here with maybe a giant semicircle. Anyway, the possibilities are endless. The idea is simply to have a mat that goes across the 2 pages. And in this video, I'm creating it with 4-inch strips. Now what I'm going to do is place my photos on top of it. So I have 5 photos, and they are all in different orientations. Now, what I feel like doing here is kind of jumbling them up. What I'm looking to do here is to make sure there's not a huge amount of space between my photos. You notice here the margins are not very big. If I want to switch this up a bit, okay, see this here? I can also have a photo go across the 2 pages, but typically when I do that, I like them to be landscape photos, photos that don't have people in them. So here is a photo of beautiful Lake Louise. I don't mind cutting that in 2. So I'm going to put it like this. And basically I have here kind of an organic spread of photos with not too much space in between the photos, and that leaves a nice outer edge, a nice rest for the eye, all of this white space. In my case, it's literally white. It doesn't have to be white. The idea being there is a rest for the eye around the grouping of photos. The last thing I want to mention, when I create a quick and easy double page spread, typically what I will do is create 2 main embellishment clusters in kitty corners. What I see here is 1 up here and 1 here. And what I end up doing with these is typically I like to create them at different visual weights, and I like to repeat elements. So the embellishment clusters do not have to be identical, but I like there to be repetition in them. Also, when I create these quick and easy double page spreads, I like to have a title in one area and a repetition of the title in the other area. So sometimes it's a title, then a date, or a title, then a subtitle. Finally, often, but not always, I will create a visual triangle. In this case, for example, if I have 1 here and 1 here, I might create a little repetition of it here. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, let's get creating again. So now I'm going to adhere all of these strips of paper across the 2 pages. I'm starting on the left page. I'm going to do all 3 on the left page. And then what I will do is take the 2 pages together, use the left page as a guide for placement on the right page. I am not going to make you watch me do all of this. You can see I'm fussing quite a bit with my T-square just to make sure everything is lined up. But basically that's the big trick, is just to do 1 page, line it up with the other page, use that as a guide, and continue adhering. So you're going to see right now I have everything adhered, including all of the photos except the one that's going across the 2 pages. I'm going to come in with a pencil, just mark a dot where I want to cut, and I'm literally putting the photo with that in the trimmer, slicing it, and now I'm adhering that little piece over on the left-hand page. Once again, I am going to bump the 2 pages together just to make sure I adhere the photo on the right so that it lines up with that little piece on the left. Before getting out my embellishing, I am going to add a bit of ink to the top left and bottom right corners. You can see I have the Mercy Tiara Kit newsletter handy. In that, it comes with every kit. There is a color palette that matches the entire kit. At the beginning of the month, I went through all of my inks and I selected what I had in my stash that matched that color palette, and that's what I'm using to apply a bit of ink. The ink I'm using here is Soft Succulent by Stampin' Up, and that is a really good example of using the newsletter. I am not a mixed media person, and I rarely do what you see me doing right now, but because that color palette was in the newsletter, I did go through, I selected some inks, and for that reason, they were sitting beside my kit. I decided to use it. I am doing something a little bit different for me. So that's kind of fun too. You're going to see another example of why that newsletter that comes in the kits is useful a little bit later on. As you can see, I have all of my embellishing around me here. So I just want to walk you through what I have here. I have some tag dies. You can see I cut myself out 3 tags. I end up using 2 of them. Those are dies from Tim Holtz. Two of those are in graph paper from Simple Stories. The other one is just in white cardstock. I also die cut a bunch of trees. So the cardstock I used for these trees is simply the cardstock that I gutted from behind the foundation page. The dies I used, once again, from Tim Holtz. That's from a past Christmas collection. And also, I have a few stamp sets here. So the one on the left is from Close to My Heart with the months. The other one are travel words. That's from Elizabeth Craft Designs. I also have some alpha stickers. Those are from the Coast to Coast collection. They were in the main kit. And on wax paper, I have my title, which is Beautiful Lake Louise 2023. So I have it on wax paper. That way I can play around with placement before I commit to sticking it on my page. And I also kind of narrowed down my ephemera selection here. So basically I did it by color. What you see on the table right now does come from two collections, from the Echo Park Paper Telling Our Story collection, and the other one is Pink Paisley. I think it's called Joyful Notes. So here as well, I have a bunch of other embellishing. I don't really end up using this. I have stickers from Simple Stories, also from Pink Paisley. Those thickers are from the Coast to Coast collection, but I do end up using these brads, which are from Echo Park Paper. They are self-adhesive brads. So what I'm going to do right now is start building clusters. And like I mentioned a few moments ago, I'm going to be doing them mainly in kitty corners. I'm starting by placing these tags there. So I'm just literally tucking them behind photos along those strips of paper. The one in the bottom right is bigger than the one in the top left. I'm showing you where I'm thinking of placing my title, the main part in the bottom right, a repetition of that, the year in the top left. Now I'm coming in with the trees because those are big. So I am going to be putting 3 in the bottom right, 2 in the top left. So you can see my bigger cluster with the bigger tag with 3 trees, and the main part of my title is in the bottom right. The one in the top left is having a repetition of all of that, only it's going to be smaller. Now what I'm going to do is come in with some ephemera pieces, and I'm going for this peachy color. These are all from that Echo Park Paper Telling Our Story collection. What I'm doing is introducing another color in 3 spots on the page. So right off the bat, I am creating a visual triangle here. You can see the one in the top right above that photo. It's actually a picture frame, but I'm thinking of using it as a tab. Now I'm coming in for the 2 bigger clusters and adding some more ephemera pieces. Again, these pieces are from Echo Park Paper, and most of them are wordy bits, but I'm kind of liking how this is looking. At this point, I have a lot of loose pieces on my desk, and I know myself, I'm going to have to start adhering before I actually add my finishing touches. But here I go, going back to that newsletter. So in that newsletter, there's an area to talk about maybe photos you want to take, techniques you want to try, stuff like that. And in that, I wrote I wanted to do some stamping. And because of that, I brought out some stamps and put it in my kit for the month, and that is why I am stamping on this page. So what you see me doing is getting out those 2 stamps, and I'm stamping on 2 tags. Right now I'm using a stamp set from Elizabeth Craft Design. It has like these travel wordy bits, and it says, "Travel does the heart good." I am using a black ink by VersaFine Claire. And now on that other tag that's going to go on the left-hand page, that's where I'm going to be placing the year. I have a circle that says October, and that is from Close to My Heart. So I've actually stamped. I'm quite happy about that, and I really like how it looks. So what I'm going to do right now is adhere what I have decided upon. Then I am going to come back and add some finishing touches. Now for that circular piece that you're going to see me adhere in a moment, what you see me doing with it right now is backing it in cardstock. That is because I want to pop it up on foam adhesive. It is only paperweight, so I just want to reinforce it a bit before adding foam adhesive. So I did that. So for that teal colored circle, it's popped up on foam adhesive, and off camera I adhered the date. Now I am working on the second page there, the page on the right. I am using an adhesive called Sticky Specs to adhere those trees. You'll see me use it again in a minute. It's like a wax paper that I lift up and I place a detailed piece on top of it and it picks up the adhesive. I did it on the left-hand page as well. Now I'm coming in with these other wordy bits, and once again for this third one towards the bottom, I am going to pop it up on foam adhesive. So I've got a bunch of stuff lined up along the right-hand side of that photo, and I really like it. There's one other thing I want to mention. For my page, I really don't have any journaling. I have Lake Louise and the date. I've already documented this story in my album, so I don't really have to write anymore. If I had more journaling to do, what I would do is that tag that is underneath all of those embellishments, I would have popped it out longer, making that tag bigger, and there I would have done my embellishing. You can see I adhered my title on the bottom right corner. I didn't make you watch all of it, but I basically started on the bottom row on the far right, worked backwards, then I put beautiful on top of it, and now I'm coming in with some finishing touches. So I have those self-adhesive brads that were in the embellishment add-on from Echo Park Paper. I put one in each of the 3 tags. I'm contemplating using some sequins. I don't end up doing that, but what I end up doing is stamping in that tab that you see just above that photo on the right. So basically, this is my finished layout, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd greatly appreciate a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, Scrapbooking Quebec, I would be honored and thrilled if you did. And if you are a subscriber, thank you very, very much. Make sure to check out the Mercy Tiara Kits shop, Instagram, and Facebook page. I will put a bunch of links below. Take care, and I will see you soon on YouTube. Bye-bye.